A deal on Dickens, who could resist? A stack of Austen, warmly kissed. Golden Age crime tales twist and turn, every page a treasure to learn. Books keep coming home with me, piles so tall they're all I see. Turn a page and sail the sea, reading always feels so free.
Hi, my name is Talia. Welcome to Talia Nerd Out. This is a short book review that falls under two different read-alongs going on right now, June on the Range and for Book Trek, which runs for the whole summer. I have read this book before. I read this last year, and this is Star Trek Ishmael. So also, live long and prosper. I'm not sure if I put the thumb in or out. I'm pretty sure the thumb comes out. I always forget. Oh, I should know. My book journal will show me. Because I actually have. I don't know why I always forget. Because I already did the journal entry for last year, me reading Ishmael. Ah, the thumb is out, just like I thought. Anywho. So. Live long and prosper. I don't know why McCoy always complained about it being hard to do. Like, I don't know. I remember him complaining so many times in the series about it being like, oh my gosh, it's so difficult. I think he's just being a curmudgeon. Anyway, this is probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite, of the Star Trek novels. This is by Barbara Hambly. I'm not sure if I've read any for other ones. I'm sure I have. And this is number 23 of the Star Trek Pocket Books. And these are the ones from the original series. Basic plotline. Spock disappears and gets thrown into, I believe the year is 1877. But he has to adjust to starting off with no memories. And that therein lies your basis. It's one of your typical, it has the plot device that tends to be overused of amnesia, but I think it's done well here. They give a good reason for it. And honestly, you don't really end up caring terribly much, in my opinion, what the reason is as you continue down the story. Because you get a character like Spock, who I already thoroughly enjoy as a character, and it's a true fish out of water story of learning to blend in without knowing what you don't know, without knowing what you do know that might set you apart as other, and trying not to fall into the pitfalls that you don't know are there. And also putting him in a very different environment than what he would have been used to if he had had his memory. And of course, you add to the fact that Spock is not even human. I mean, he's half human, but he's not got a normal human physiology. You got to add that in. And just his psychological makeup of having been raised on a place other than Earth, although he did have a mother who was of Earth. And just having him and his values that will suddenly crop up and surprise people and himself at different points in this culture that's, like I said, very different from what he would have had experience of. And the ways that he makes others think and who are around him in this new setting, and also the way that they make him think, and some of the ways that, some lessons or some of the ways of interacting with people that he pulls from this new life that he's forced to pull together because he has really nothing else. He doesn't know who he is, how he got to where he is, anything. I enjoy the characters that are around him in this book because you are dealing with Kirk and Bones and other characters, your typical cast. But honestly, I couldn't wait for those parts to be done. I wanted to return to Spock in his new environment back in time. Not because the other parts weren't well written, but I really enjoyed the original characters in this book and watching them interact with Spock. And watching Spock kind of because it was like Spock, but also like Spock developing into this other person because he had to, and how he ended up, growing in different ways in this environment. And of course, you have the fact that this is going to be an action story in certain aspects because this is a Star Trek novel. But I thought that this book did a good job of balancing a character-focused narrative while also giving decent visuals throughout. There are points where I could really visualize certain scenes they were trying to set up. Sometimes it was something as simple as a silhouette that they made very visual for me. A light glinting off of someone's pocket watch, or the way a tavern might appear, that kind of thing. I thoroughly enjoy this novel, always have. If I was to recommend one Star Trek novel, this would probably be it. If you wanted one that was a little bit more of a traditional Star Trek novel, maybe I would suggest Tooth and Claw instead, because this doesn't have any of the time travel and amnesia storylines to it, which make this one more of a Western story with, sci-fi here and there throughout. But yeah, I think last year I ended up reading this by Kindle, and then I realized I really wanted to have my paperback again, because this is one that I could see myself reading, every year, every other year for June on the Range, because it does fit so nicely, both in June on the Range and for Book Trek. If I, want to get at least one book in for each of them, I can knock both of them out at the same time. So yeah, there's not much else to say about it. It is a Star Trek book. If you enjoy just kind of just a fun story with good characters, I'd recommend this one. It's not going to be like a heavy, deeply philosophical. It's a Star Trek novel. It's fun. And every once in a while, you just need a good, fun story. So that's all I had to say about that one. Hope that you enjoyed that particular review. Hope that you will check out Ishmael. And I keep wanting to call this I Am Ishmael, but no, that's the beginning of Moby Dick, which I actually have not read all the way through. But no, the story is just called Ishmael. Star Trek Ishmael. So thank you very much for joining me. I will see you again for the next video. God bless. Bye.
Books keep coming home with me. Piles so tall, they're all I see. Turn a page and sail the sea. Reading always feels so free.